Hello friends, in South India, there is a vast green forest region spread across nearly 18,000 square kilometers. This beautiful forest lies between the Eastern Ghats and the famous Western Ghats mountain ranges. Between the states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, this dense forest is full of life. The gentle sound of rivers like the Kaveri and the Palar flowing through the forest adds to its beauty. In some areas, the Palar river forms the natural border between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. This forest is rich in wildlife. Animals such as elephants, deer, tigers, crocodiles, rabbits, and wolves live here. It is also known for valuable trees like sandalwood, teak, and many rare plants. But for more than 30 years, this peaceful forest was controlled by one man. Like a wild and unstoppable force, he lived inside the forest and freely used its resources. He smuggled sandalwood, hunted elephants, and used their ivory for illegal trade. It is believed that thousands of elephants were killed because of him. His actions disturbed the natural balance of the forest. He spread fear, violence, and chaos, shaking the system of law and order. This is the story of that man. But this video is not intended to glorify that person. It is only for informational purposes. The name of this criminal Kuse Munisamy Virappan was born on 18th January 1952 in Gopinatham village near the Karnataka and Tamil Nadu border. His father Munisamy was a simple villager. From a very young age, Virappan lived close to the forest. He learned survival skills like tracking animals, moving silently, and hiding from danger. In his teenage years, around the late 1960s, he joined the gang of Sebi Gounder, a known sandalwood smuggler. Under him, Virappan learned how to transport sandalwood, how to hunt elephants, and how to escape from police. By the early 1970s, he became independent and formed his own gang. Around the late 1970s and early 1980s, Virappan married Muthulakshmi. She later became his wife and supported him during his life in the forest. They had children. Even while living as a wanted criminal, Virappan stayed connected with his family through secret contacts. Virappan used different types of guns during different stages of his life. In his early years, he used country-made guns, also called muzzleloading guns. Later, he used 12-bore shotguns. As his gang became stronger, he started using more powerful weapons like the self-loading rifle, also known as SLR. He also used rifles like the .303 rifle, which was commonly used by police and army. In some operations, his gang used AK-47 rifles. He and his gang also used explosives and landmines during attacks. During the 1980s, he expanded his control over forest areas including Satyamangalam, Bandipur, Mudumlai, and Mail Mahadeshwara Hills. On 9th November 1986, Virappan was arrested by forest officials, but he managed to escape soon after. This incident made him more dangerous and careful. On November 1987, Forest Officer Chidambaram was kidnapped and killed by Virappan. On 8th November 1991, District Forest Officer P. Srinivas was kidnapped and later killed by Virappan. Srinivas had tried to convince him to surrender, but the attempt failed. This incident shocked the authorities and made Virappan more feared. On 9th April 1993, Virappan carried out a landmine blast near Palar, killing 22 people, including police personnel. This was one of the deadliest attacks carried out by him. During the early 1990s, Virappan also attacked Rampura police station in Karnataka. This attack was done to take revenge against police pressure and to show his strength. Throughout the 1990s, special task forces were formed by Karnataka and Tamil Nadu governments. Important officers involved included K. Vijay Kumar from Tamil Nadu and officers like Shankar Bidri, Kempaya, and Walter Devran, who played key roles in operations against Veerappan. Thousands of police entered the forest, but Veerappan continued to escape. He used informers, secret forest routes, and constant movement to avoid capture. On 30th July 2000, Veerappan kidnapped Dr. Rajkumar from his farmhouse at Ghazni. This incident created panic across Karnataka. The reasons behind this kidnapping included ransom demands, release of prisoners, and political pressure related to Tamil issues. Journalist Nakkiran Gopal acted as a mediator. He entered the forest multiple times and helped in communication between the government and Veerappan. After 108 days, on 15th November 2000, Dr. Rajkumar was released. On 25th August 2002, Veerappan kidnapped former Karnataka Minister Nagappa. On 8th December 2002, Nagappa was found dead under unclear circumstances. At that time, he did not have the facility of mobile phones to connect with others like now, so he used to wander around in the forest listening to the radio to learn about his affairs and other matters of the country. His news was broadcasted across the country on radio, TV and newspapers. By then, the Tamil Nadu and Karnataka governments had already spent hundreds of crores of rupees to catch him. Later, both these governments had jointly announced a reward of 5 crore rupees for anyone who captured him alive or killed him and brought his head. But he could not be caught. By the early 2000s, police changed their strategy. Instead of searching inside the forest, they planned to bring Veerappan out. They created a strong intelligence network using informers and undercover agents. During this time, it was discovered that Veerappan had a serious eye problem. Police used this weakness to create a trap. Then one day, the police caught his informant and told him that they would send a vehicle from our department for his eye treatment. They said, "You should go and tell him that the vehicle is an ambulance from the hospital that provides the treatment." Then they changed the police vehicle into an ambulance and sent him. On 18th October 2004, Veerappan and his associates entered an ambulance, believing they were going for medical treatment. Near Dharmapuri in Tamil Nadu, special task force officers stopped the ambulance. They asked him to surrender. Gunfire started. Within minutes, Veerappan and his associates were killed. This operation was led by K. Vijay Kumar and was called Operation Cocoon. With this, a man who had escaped the law for more than 30 years finally came to an end. Veerappan was responsible for more than 100 deaths, including police officers, forest officials, and civilians. He smuggled large quantities of sandalwood and killed many elephants for ivory. From a small village boy to one of the most feared criminals in India, his life remains one of the most shocking and controversial stories. Even today, the forests where he once lived remain silent. A story of fear, a story of power, and a story that will never be forgotten. This was the dark story of Veerappan, the man who terrorized India. If any viewers from other countries are watching this video, did you already know about this criminal named Veerappan? Comment and share this video with your friends and relatives and subscribe to this channel for more such videos. Bye bye.